Okay, I'm here to talk about the #1 dreamboat pirate from the golden age of piracy, the heartthrob of the seas, Robin Hood himself, Sam Bellamy. I'm Airways, but if I had to pick a dude, it would be Sam Bellamy. If I could bring him back from the dead and from the 18th century, I would. Sam. Few things about him. He was known as the Prince of Pirates, also Robin Hood of the Seas. His men called themselves Robin Hood's men. He loved to wear black velvet coats like this, fancy clothes. And he always kept his long black hair tied back with a black silk ribbon. So he was known for his nice clothing and his good manners and the fact that everybody loved him, despite the fact that he learned piracy from infamous asshole Benjamin Hornigold. But he was better than his mentor. So good for him, good for all of us, really. So the story went that Sam was in love with a girl in Massachusetts named Maria Hallett, but her parents didn't like him because he was a poor sailor. So they wouldn't let him marry her. So he went off to be a pirate to make money. But tragically, which I'll get to, he never did get back to her. However, he was one of the most successful pirates of the time, despite the fact that he was only about 26 or 27 during his career. He was beloved by his men, and he stole a legendary amount of plunder. He was probably one of the most successful pirates there were. And he had 3 ships to his name by the time he died, which is pretty cool. So he really hated the English system that was terrible to sailors and slaves and indigenous people, all of that stuff. So he wanted to fight back against it. So he was known for going after merchants who were mean to their men or who cheated them of their wages. And there's a famous pirate historian who says that Sam Bellamy wanted to fight hard, harm few, score big, which is a pretty good way of putting it, really. And one of the famous quotes that Sam is known for saying was, they rob the poor under cover of law, forsooth, and we plunder the rich under the protection of our own courage. So he was not afraid to fight, but most of the time he would go after merchants who were terrible, and if he encountered a merchant captain who was nice to his men, he'd let the guy go. He didn't want to take more than he needed. So hence the Robin Hood aspect of things. Tragically, Sam died in a shipwreck in a storm. His ship crashed on the shore of Cape Cod onto the rocks, notoriously bad for ships, and only 2 men survived. Sam died, and he was not even 30, and he never got back to the woman he loved. So that's the tragic story of Sam Bellamy. Love him deeply, and I am releasing my own pirate book, Sailing by Orion's Star, on April 26th, in honor of Sam dying on that day in 1717. So, yeah, if you want to learn more about Sam Bellamy, I totally recommend it.